Hello everyone, welcome to another Green Dragons Gaming. Without us, they wouldn't feel like winners. Without them, we couldn't look so good. So again, we're based out of Westchester, Pennsylvania, and this is another Ninth Age Battle Report. So this is an event that has traveled around the country because the owner has moved several times, the person who runs it. And I gotta say, if you ever have a chance, there's a little thing that is known as Hogsfest. I would always recommend that you go to. This time was held up in Rochester, New York, and I think it's going to be held there for at least another couple of years. Jeff Durham puts it on, and you know, one signature thing that he does, besides running a good, clean tournament, he knows his rules. So as a TO, it's great. He's very the whole Ninth Age community, for the most part, is like everyone likes to joke around and things like that. But as a TO, we, at least here in the United States, we've gotten to feeding our players, and he feeds you barbecue. And I gotta say that on Sunday when he gave us that barbecue, it was awesome. We absolutely all loved it and hailed it. Many of us went up for seconds, and that was from one of the local places up there. If he had some more players, again, this was a small tournament. Again, COVID and things like that. Another couple events that went on the same weekend as well. But if I think next year when he runs it, it will be a larger event. And what he has done in the past is actually give me a whole pig, like roasted a whole pig for everyone. I mean, it's awesome. So this is game one. Frontline Clash Breakthrough, and this is going to be. I ended up drawing Taras, who is more from the Midwest area. It's good guy, fun guy. He has a very and when you see his army, I remember when I first met Taras. Going to Buckeyes, he was wearing Cthulhu slippers, and I turned around to Pretty Boy Ryan, and he goes, "Am I looking at someone wearing like Cthulhu slippers?" Of course, Ryan's like, "Who's Cthulhu?" But I mean, he gets into the army, and whether or not you like how his army's painted or not, it is thematic. It's how his imagination goes, and he's been playing demons for as long as I've known him now, for almost 5 years. So here's his list. Please feel free to pause it, look at it, and review it. I'm not really going to go over it other than what is concerns to me. So concerns to me is that those brazen beasts, if they charge into me, that can spell bad things to everything except for my gut star. The lemurs, parry isn't so much an issue because I have impacted and things like that. But the res 5, throwing the character in there, I'm not sure I can do enough wounds to pop it, and then the character who has a crush attack has the potential to pop my own characters. The Thresher engine is a Thresher engine, the shooting ability and things like that, and Sirens are awesome chaff, to the point that they're also an offensive use, and he's got the Furies, which to me is really good chaff. Here's my list for my Ogre Cons. So I go up there, and I'm borrowing an army because I'm still painting my ogres. I've had ogres for years. I just never bothered painting them. And I'm missing my Yetis, and I'm missing what are they? The Trappers. So this entire tournament, playing the part of Yetis is going to be Bombardiers, and playing the part of Trappers is going to be Knights Forlorn, because I did bring my KOE army up because I want to try playtesting the KOE lab while I was up there, but never got around to that. Let's see here. If you have any, pause it, feel free to review. So this is our deployment. As I said, it's Breakthrough, Frontline Clash. So he dropped to go first. He's using the building to kind of secure up his flank, and he's using that courtesan as a way to... Did he drop to go first, or did I drop? Yeah, he dropped to go first. And he's using that hill to defend his courtesan. So, let's see. This is after my scouts, and you can see the Knights Forlorn models right there in the center in the field. And they vanguarded up. He did his vanguard with his troops on the right, and that's it. His first movement looks like this, and he is literally trying to get around my flank with them. Now, here's the thing. Those can hold me up because they're supernal. I have to do enough wounds to make them pop. So if you charge flank, that's already 2 combat res. So and that's 5 wounds there. So I'm going to have to do, let's see, to make that unit pop, charge flank. So 1, 2, 3. That leaves him 2. No, I have to do 4 wounds if he charges into the flank, if he goes into my monster. Which isn't unlikely, but also not likely either, because he does have a 5-up 8 armor save, or Aegis save with that unit. So my first turn, I turn around and I move the Yetis up as far up on the left flank as I can, getting out of line of sight. I really don't bother with the Tuskers, moving him up. He did declare a charge with his courtesan last turn, which I forgot to mention, and I chose to flee from it, going into my whatever they are, the tribesmen with Iron Fist. They want nothing to do with that courtesan. That courtesan will mess them up because it's a res 6 courtesan. So again, just simply move up, trying to threaten, and I get some magic off. Nothing really important. I think I maybe put a couple of plucky wounds on some things, and that's about it. So his turn 2, he goes ahead and he chaffs up my Gut Star because he's now seeing that the true threat that they are. He moves up with the courtesan a little bit. And what else? That's basically it. He's still playing chicken on the right-hand side, and part of the issue is his magic is on the far left. On the right-hand side, you can't really see it in this picture, but I have a cat over there, and that cat is just perfect chaff versus the Brazen Beast, and then allows my Tuskers to go in if need be. So he tries to do a march test with his Sirens. He ends up rolling a 10. He ended up trying to do a march test with his Furies to make sure he got them exactly where he wanted them, and he couldn't. Again, he rolled a 10 on his discipline test, and he did charge into the Trappers with his Chariot, and that's, which is, I'm okay with this. Come closer. I want you closer. I think he maybe took even a couple wounds from the terrain piece, so I'm happy about that. Oh, there's that charge. He declared that charge second turn, not first turn, and then they rally during my turn. During his shooting phase, he ends up plopping off one of my bruisers. I think we all expected that Chariot just to make mincemeat out of those poor trappers. And during my turn, it says now my turn 2. I charge in the Tuskers with a bomb charge. I charge in the Yetis in the flank. This is a res 6 mirror scale courtesan. I really don't know how it's going to turn out. I think right now it's a good idea. All right, because I got strength 6, I got strength 5s. I'm res 4 with 3-up armor. So how many ones am I going to roll? We'll wait. And how many wounds is he going to do? So there's that. Now, I did try to charge the Rock into the Chariot, and I failed. The Tribesmen go in and take out the Furies. So there's that pick. So close combat. I think I won combat, but maybe only by 1. He ends up doing like 4, 5, 6, 7 wounds to me, I do like 3 wounds to him. It just wasn't enough. And at this point, I'm going, you know what? Me charging in the Yetis, because she's only strength 5, but they're res 4. And they do have a lot of attacks. And again, they're strength 5, res 4, mirror scales. I'm not so sure this was a great idea at this point in time. I'm doing more damage to myself than he's doing to me. During his turn 3, let's see, as you can see in this picture, I did end up chaffing his Brazen Beast. And he takes his lemurs with the character, goes in the flank of the Tuskers. Fully expected that. Go ahead. Fully expected that. This is after close combat. He charged in to the tribesmen with his sirens, thinking that they would do a lot of attacks. I'm like, yeah, parry, go for it. And I'm strength 4, you're res 3, go for it. Plus I had my general. Plus I had my BSB. I'm really not worried. I think he actually did win combat initially, but I'm steadfast. There's just too many wounds to go through from the sirens. So they end up sticking, even though he did 7 wounds to me versus my 3 wounds back. But me doing those 3 wounds and being steadfast at discipline 9, rerollable, it was a no-brainer. Let's see. He ends up using the... let me go back. He uses his engine as chaff at this point in time because he's worried about his myrmidons. So let me just go back a few. Oh, going the wrong way, boss, wrong way. All right, so there's this. So he charges that chaff with the raisins, and my Tuskers go ahead. They move up, and that's it. So this close combat, again, not looking pretty. He ends up fully demolishing what's left of the Tuskers, so that unit is getting removed. Actually, they broke and fled, and he caught them. Meanwhile, the Yeti rolled snake eyes and stuck to his own detriment, but it actually was a good thing. And I already went to review that one. Of course, he killed the kitty cat. So what do I do here? Well, I run the rock into the what is that? The infernal engine. And one thing that he didn't see is he gave me a flank into his myrmidons with the Tusker cavalry. So I'm like, I'll take that any day of the week, twice on Sunday. And I also charged out my Great Khan into his chariot because I had D3 wounds and everything else. So I'm like, I'll take that. I'll gladly take those attacks. I wanted to make sure my BSB stayed local for the tribesmen during close combat. I take out the tribesmen. I take out the Great Khan does his job, takes out the chariot, because if he charges his courtesan in there, I'm still not worried about that courtesan wounding him. I got an Awaken the Beast. I believe I did +1 strength onto them. So we go through this entire combat. So it's 3d3 impact hits from the Tuskers. It's 3d3 impact hits from the Great Big Beast. And I forgot it had Battle Focus, by the way. I did forget that. It ends up, so I do all those to wounds, and then I start doing the attacks on the critters. I still had 12 attacks with the Tuskers themselves, and then I only had about 8 attacks from the guys, and that's my paired weapon unit. So I only had about 12 attacks there, and then 2 attacks from the rider on top of the critter. And he's like, all right. And then I get to the critter, and then I do stomps. And he's like, how much attack? I'm like, you just got nailed with that. So needless to say, as you see, he only removed that plank, and then I'm still rolling dice, and poor Taras is going, what the heck? They pulverized that. So this was the end of I want to say turn 5 at this point in time. And for turn 6, we just played it real quick, where he could not get to my deployment zone with any of his scoring units. And I had 1 unit in his deployment zone, and I think I could have easily just turned around and just maneuvered my 1 unit in. So I end up getting objective, ends up being a 16-4. So for me, my most valuable piece on the field was that Rock because it commanded respect, and without those impacts, without that offensive ability of that initial charge, and as a longtime KOE player, I mean, it's all about that charge. That Rock was key and pivotal to get the Tuskers into the deployment zone to claim objective. The least valuable, which I can't really say they were least valuable, but I had to pick one, were my Yetis. And the reason why is I was hitting myself. I was killing myself too easily because of mirrored scales. I think against any other target in that army that didn't have mirrored scales, this would have been a wonderful unit. I probably should have placed it on the right-hand side, but because I did place it on the left, it made my opponent think about it, and they still were chaff. It's a tough sell, but I have to rate them as my least valuable piece. So that's it. Any questions, concerns, please feel free to post. I'll gladly respond. And until next time, happy gaming.